Hi, Be Free. This is Lauren Trotta here, ready and excited to tell you all about the struggles, but the discovery of Jesus in my life that has come through the midst of the COVID crisis. So, to start off, Jesus has been so good to both David and I. We have gone through many challenges in the last 9-10 months, and it has all been for his glory in the end. But it did not come to my mind as easily until we walked through the journey together. I have, as many of you have probably experienced the same, a struggle with prideful planning, thinking that our planning is the best that could ever be, and that the visions in our mind are the absolute best case scenario. When I discovered COVID could be a potential risk to not only my everyday life, but to the wedding planning that David and I were in the process of, I was at work and I found out that schools were closing left and right in the state of Connecticut due to COVID, and I ran to the nearest empty conference room and just started crying. I just thought, God, this is so not fair that this day is not going to happen the way that I think it was. And that was maybe 6 or 7 months ahead of time, but I still had this inkling of a feeling that things were not going to go right. And as we all know, 2 weeks to battle this crisis turned into many, many months, and we're still in the midst of that. And much of the time spent between March and July was me crying, listening to worship music, constantly on the phone with my mom, my mother-in-law, and all my bridesmaids. And I just struggled in such a way to think, how could God care about this? You know, this is something in my life that is so far less of a big deal than people that don't have money, people that don't have any job security. And I was really nervous about that. But all in all, it came down to me finding some very specific scriptures in my heart that I knew I could come in contact with my situation, catch me right in that moment. And I'd like to share Proverbs 19:21 with you today, which says, "Many are the plans in the mind of a man, but it is the purpose of the Lord that will stand." And in other versions, it not only says that will stand, but it says that will prevail and will come to pass. And I think that that was so important. If any of you have seen the pictures of our day, you'll know how special it was, how truly perfect God made it for us. And it wasn't what I thought it would look like. I thought I would be getting ready in a beautiful mansion in Seymour, and instead I was getting ready in a very regular hotel room in Shelton. And, you know, looking back on that and thinking how Instagram perfect I wished everything would have been in my mind. You know, I think back about how many things God put in their place right at the right time. Hurricane Isaias was 2 days before our wedding. And it was so insane that not only had we went through that trial in those past 48 hours together as a couple, but it has still kept with us as a learning experience to help us make all types of decisions. And I don't know that I would have replaced that. I don't know that I would have asked God to take that from us in hindsight now. God has been so good. And I hope that all of you in the midst of COVID, knowing how many trials we face, can find some hope and some light in the midst of the things I've shared today, knowing that God does care about you and God loves you.